How do I love thee? Let me count the ways. Actually, let me not count the ways. This is a podcast, and I needed to enter into it somehow. But, I'm Nick. This is 10 Minutes with Nick. And today I'm going to talk about the importance of saying I love you, and also how we way overuse that term. We're going to start with why it's important. Because I think for a long time, the concept of love was underutilized, and it was reserved, especially in, I think, the United States, it was reserved for romantic use only. And so, we talked a lot about in TV and everything else, I love my boyfriend, girlfriend, fiance, spouse, whatever. And we ignored the fact that love exists in a lot of spaces, not just reserved for romance. It exists in a lot of platonic spaces. And I don't know the full etymology of the word platonic. I know it derives from Plato, and I know it has to do with essentially, there's no you in essentially. Essentially, it has to do with non-romantic love. Right. Okay. So, we know it's dealing with non-romantic love. This is great. This is wonderful. Where does that get us? Well, it means that I love you was criminally underutilized. Families, a lot of the time, you'd say I love you maybe once in a while. It's important to tell the people you actually love that you love them, right? Like your siblings, for example. They would, I'm sure, love to know, there's the word again, they would love to know that you care about them more than a passing acquaintance. Unless you don't. If you hate your siblings, I suppose, don't lie to them and don't tell them that you love them. But, if you do love your sibling, which I'm sure most of my listeners do, there's only 3 of you. So, I'm pretty sure you must. I know you all pretty well. I'm reasonably certain you like your siblings more than passing acquaintances. Great. So let's pretend that I've established that with rigorous methodology and fact-finding, since I know my entire audience so well. Why is that so important to tell them that? Well, because telling someone that you like them, right? You like a lot of people when it comes to your life. I like certain celebrities. I like The Rock. He makes me laugh. His giant, oversized baby head makes me laugh, especially because it's a giant, oversized baby head on shoulders that are the size of my head. I like it. It makes me laugh. Ryan Reynolds. Like him a lot. Makes me laugh. Nicki Minaj. I like her music. I don't know her. I've only heard her rap. I don't know her personality as much as I would say an actor, but I've heard she's delightful in the limited capacities she's had for acting and the interviews she's done. I've heard she's delightful. I'm sure I would like her. But I don't love any of those 3. Why? Because love is a deeper emotional connection that you develop. Usually you develop it over time, right? Like they say, whether romantic or platonic, love is a choice. You choose to love someone, and through your actions, you reflect that love back to them. Love is very... Well, that's a point I didn't think I would get to. Liking something is sort of is more benefit to me, right? Like, I like The Rock because he makes me laugh. I like Ryan Reynolds. He makes me laugh. I like Nicki Minaj. She makes me want to dance. I haven't heard her music in Starship. Yeah, Starships. Yeah, that was a good song. It was a summer jam. Made me want to dance. Conversely, love is sacrificial. You know, the people I love, I will do anything for. I will give to them. As opposed to like being what I get from them. And this doesn't mean that if you know, and this is where we're going to switch into the second half of the point I'm making with this podcast. Just because you like someone for the benefit you get from them, it doesn't mean that you're using that person. Right? Like Ryan Reynolds and The Rock and Nicki Minaj, they all want me to like them. And in order for me to like them, since I don't really know them, there's a benefit they have to confer upon me. In that case, it's entertainment. Right, it's entertainment in that case. So why did I assert in the beginning that it's both underused and overused? Well, because you can go to social media right now. You could open a post anywhere. And you'll see influencers saying these crazy things like, OMG, love you so much, to a random poster, right? This is a sort of oversaturation now of the word, where if instead of love being this sacrificial thing, a famous person is saying I love you to a less famous person in order to keep their fandom. That love is not sacrificial. And we can't keep mixing and matching these words because words, as we've said relatively frequently, words have power. Well, we haven't said it relatively frequently. People have said it relatively frequently, but words do have power. And it's a particularly dangerous thing when we mix the concept of love up, when love gets tied up into that. Because no matter who you are, no matter what language you speak, love always carries a sacrificial element to it. I like The Rock. If I loved The Rock, I would do anything for him. I go from being a fan to being a worshiper. There's a reason that in the Bible, God talks a lot about love and shows as the perfect example of love, Christ going to the cross. The ultimate sacrifice for his people that he loved. He actually loved his people. Hot girl in a bikini saying I love you is not the same. They are not the same. Now, some of these posts, they actually know each other. Maybe they're saying I love you to a friend. Even that, slow your roll. You do not have to love someone just because you had a nice conversation with them a few times. And in fact, I would advise you not to love someone if you had a conversation with them a few times. If you're in a relationship with somebody, I advise you not to fall in love just because you're dating someone. Love is a choice. Love is a sacrifice. Some people are worthy of your love. 99% of people, and again, we're dealing with populations here, so like out of 7 billion people, 99%, I'm safe to say, 99% of the 7 billion people on this planet, you're probably not going to love them. And that's okay. You don't have the capacity for that much love because you don't have the capacity to give that much of yourself because you don't have the capacity to sacrifice that much. No one does. The overuse of love and spreading our love out so thin, I think, is leading to some of the strains in human relationship that we're starting to see. We've run out of things to give, and because love is a give, love is a gift from us to them, we're just running out. You know, if I'm a husband and I'm, at home with my wife, I cannot love another woman beside my wife. Why? Well, because I'm supposed to be sacrificing for my wife. And I would hope she would sacrifice for me. And I know, I get it. Like, girls are going to tell me that, it's different when girls are just gabbing to each other. I don't think so. I just think there's a lot more. I think there's a lot more societal pressure on girls to tell each other that they love each other and sacrifice for each other as though they love each other. It confuses the idea of what love actually is when we overuse the word and when we just decide from the get that we have to love everybody we run into. Don't oversaturate the word. But like I said earlier, don't underuse the word. Confused yet? Well, congratulations. Truth is confusing. I'm Nick. This was 10 Minutes with Nick. I don't love you, but I definitely like you. Have a good day.